In 1086, the Domesday Book survey lists Roger de Poitou as the South Lancashire tenant-in-chief for Inter Ripam et Mersam, lands between the Ribble and Mersey rivers, in the West Derby Hundred and, at the time, the northern part of Cheshire. The Wirral settlements are administered as the Hundred of Willaston from the village of Willaston. Liverpool itself is not listed in the Domesday Book, but there is a large settlement listed at West Derby, thereby. Other settlements are named in the West Derby Hundred, including Bootle, Boltolai, Kirkdale, Surchdale, Walton, Waletone, Toxteth, Stokestede, Smithdown, Esmiduna, Wavertree, Wowretro, Allerton, Alratoon, Little and Much Woolton, Uluentune, Ulatone, Tarbock, Huyton, Heatoon, Knowsley, Chinulvesley, Melling, Maghull, Majula, Lydiate, Leiter, Sefton, Sextune, Thornton, Torrentoon, Litherland, Liderlant, Crosby, Formby, Fornaby, Raven Males, Melle, Little Altcar, Acre, Ainsdale, Einulversdale, North Males, Ottegrimele. Origins of the name. The name comes from the Old English liver, meaning thick or muddy, and pole, meaning a pool or creek, and is first recorded around 1190 as Liverpool. According to the Cambridge Dictionary of English Place Names, the original reference was to a pool or tidal creek now filled up into which two streams drained. The adjective Liverpudlian is first recorded in 1833. Although a small motte and bailey castle had earlier been built at West Derby, the origins of the city of Liverpool are usually dated from 28th August 1207, when letters patent were issued by King John advertising the establishment of a new borough, Liverpool, and inviting settlers to come and take up holdings there. It is thought that the king wanted a port in the district that was free from the control of the Earl of Chester. Initially, it served as a dispatch point for troops sent to Ireland, soon after the building around 1235 of Liverpool Castle, which was removed in 1726. St Nicholas Church was built by 1257, originally as a chapel within the parish of Walton on the Hill. In the 13th century, Liverpool as an area consisted of just 7 streets. With the formation of a market on the site of the later town hall, Liverpool became established as a small fishing and farming community administered by burgesses and, slightly later, a mayor. There was probably some coastal trade around the Irish Sea, and there were occasional ferries across the Mersey. However, for several centuries it remained a small and relatively unimportant settlement, with a population of no more than 1,000 in the mid-14th century. By the early 15th century, a period of economic decline set in, and the county gentry increased their power over the town, the Stanley family fortifying their house by building Stanley Tower on Water Street. This was a catalyst for a feud between the Stanley and Molyneux families, since the Molyneux family had permission to live at the nearby Liverpool Castle at that time. The resulting rivalry nearly spilled into a riot in 1424. In the middle of the 16th century, the population of Liverpool had fallen to around 600, and the port was regarded as subordinate to Chester until the 1650s. In 1571, the people of Liverpool sent a memorial to Queen Elizabeth the praying relief from a subsidy which they thought themselves unable to bear, wherein they styled themselves Her Majesty's poor decayed town of Liverpool. Sometime towards the close of this reign, Henry Stanley, 4th Earl of Derby, on his way to the Isle of Man, stayed at his house, the Tower, at which the corporation erected a handsome hall or seat for him in the church, where he honoured them several times with his presence. By the end of the 16th century, the town began to be able to take advantage of economic revival and the silting of the River Dee to win trade, mainly from Chester to Ireland, the Isle of Man, and elsewhere. In 1626, King Charles I gave the town a new and improved charter. During the English Civil War, there were 3 sieges of Liverpool. After the Roundheads captured Liverpool in 1643, a second siege took place in June 1644, led by Prince Rupert of the Rhine, who arrived in Liverpool with 10,000 men in an attempt to capture Liverpool Castle for the king. He camped in Everton during the siege, and he is remembered in the area through place names and inspired the nickname of Prince Rupert's Tower for the Everton lockup that was built over a century later in the area. This small jail is also depicted on the Everton Football Club badge. To defend the town, the Roundheads dug a trench around much of the town. Prince Rupert succeeded in capturing the town and the castle, but later that same year, the Roundheads recaptured Liverpool. Look out for Part 3. In 10